Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, to another video. Today's video I'm going to talk about a pretty complicated topic. Basically, I believe everyone goes through at some point in life, and that topic is anxiety. Now, this video took a lot for me to kind of muster in order to be able to do it. For many reasons, because I have a personal experience that I'm going to share with you guys, and this basically all started in 2019. So let me just explain the background story of why I want to talk about anxiety and my experience going through that. So going back to 2019, I still remember it was a September summer, really hot summer day. I was going to get my hair cut, and I started to feel kind of like a numbness in my back or whatever, my shoulder area, basically right here, shoulder area. And it was kind of like I wasn't sure what was going on. It wouldn't go away on its own. It was kind of like lingering right at the same moment I was getting my hair cut. So I started having heart palpitations and getting sweaty, and the more I thought about it, because it was on both sides and whatnot, and I was just like, whoa, this is weird. I've never experienced this before. Okay, and this is when I discovered that my anxiety basically just was absolutely out of control. So I began panicking. I left the barbershop without trying to make a scene. I just kept starting to think about, what if this is a sign of me dying? What if it's a problem in my brain, or what? All kinds of possibilities. You just start thinking about these, right? And the more you think about it, it's kind of like a snowball effect. The more anxiety you get, the more nervous you get, your palms become super sweaty. You don't know what to do. You're basically in a massive panic. And this was like, I guess this was the very first anxiety attack that I ever had. Not the worst one, but it was the first one. So I got home and decided to just sort of try and relax, take a shower, wash my hair out or whatever. And I was feeling it in my arm as well. So I was really I thought maybe I'm having a stroke or something. And it's not a laughing matter, but I just couldn't, what do I do? Do I go to the hospital? Do I call the ambulance? And I panicked again and called an ambulance. And basically the whole experience of going from home to an ambulance and was just even more of a stressor and caused more anxiety. And the guys in the ambulance were great. They helped out. They were asking many questions, doing some small tests and things like that. I also was feeling numbness here, just on this side of my face. So they thought maybe it could be like balls. What do you call that? Bell's palsy. And I'm like, I don't think it's that, but I mean, you never know. They have to basically rule out everything. So I get to the hospital, and it was a whirlwind of tests and questions, and I understand that whole part. They have to do their job and make sure that it isn't actually a stroke or something like that, because it could be, the damage that could happen could be irreversible. Anyways, from that day forth, I was a wreck. The whole situation just dropped. I wasn't able to handle very stressful situations as easily. I was always constantly having small panic attacks. I started having major ones. The first major one that I had was a few weeks later, I believe, in the middle of the night at 3 a.m, and I basically took an Uber to the hospital, to emergency, because I wasn't able to breathe. It feels like you're having a heart attack or something. You have all this pain there, and it's just, there's nothing, you don't know what to do. You're just complete and utter panic, and you jump the gun and go to the emergency. Now, my story does get better, obviously, and that's why I decided to do this video. So the panic attacks continued to happen. It happened at work. I had to get off work early and go to the hospital. It was the last time I went to the hospital for this type of emergency. I started to try and get this anxiety under control. Anxiety is one of these things where, and panic attacks, I guess it goes together, is where it's really hard to shake off. because it's so deep inside you, and it causes problems, with your the glands that are above your diaphragm. I forget what it's, or above your kidneys. I can't remember the name right now. Adrenal glands. Okay, so your adrenal glands are practically shot. Okay, I mean, I did a lot of research, and I'm not trying to say like I'm a doctor, I know everything, but I did quite a bit of research. I found out things. Anyways, so the anxiety attacks were just getting worse and worse. I was like, I can't deal with this. I have to do something. And all the while, they were still doing tests, and I had to keep a heart monitor to check for arrhythmia in my heart, because they rule out stroke, but then they would want to check your heart for other issues, because I was having panic attacks, just to make sure it's not actually a heart attack. So that was another stressor. I had to carry around this thing for I think it was 30 days or 20 days or something, like 2 weeks or something like that. I don't know if any of you guys have used that, but it could be really a pain in the ass, to be honest. So I decided I can't. Once I got through all the tests and they ruled out everything, they did find the possible cause to why I was feeling the numbness in this part of my body and whatnot. It was actually, after doing a scan, they found three of the vertebrae in my neck were herniated. So I had 3 herniated discs in my neck, which obviously is where the nervous system passes through. So if you have any kind of problems there, you're going to feel weird symptoms and things like that. That's just the human body. So I found that out. That was good news. It was good news and bad news. Only the fact that I discovered that I don't have to worry so much. I can start concentrating on fixing this problem, and it's not anything terrible. It's not a heart attack. It's not a heart condition. It's not a stroke or anything like that. So I started to feel a little bit better. Now, what I started to do, because I still had the anxiety, I still felt like any situation that I felt stress under and things like that, I wasn't able to handle it. I was just my stress level was through the roof, and the anxiety was just, you could feel it in your stomach. You know that butterfly feeling when you get nervous? I had that practically 24/7. Any little thing, it would just start acting up. Anyway, how I was able to combat my anxiety, and that was, we're in 2022, midway of 2022, 2.5 years of pure anxiety. And right after 2019, what happened? We all know what happened to the world. That really shot my anxiety through the roof. Not being able to go hang out with people, using the masks and things like that, all kinds of different things that would cause anxiety in somebody. And I'm sure a lot of people's anxiety had gone up through the roof because of the whole situation in 2020. Now, fast forward to present day now, I am 95% anxiety free. And I don't mean anxiety in the fact that the normal anxiety, because anxiety is absolutely normal. Okay, this is something that we all go through. It's kind of ups and downs. If you don't have anxiety, your body won't be able to react to certain situations, as fight or flight, because you have the fight or flight situation where you feel threatened by something, so you want to flee the situation, or you have to stand up and fight. That has to do with your nervous system, your adrenal glands, and all of that. So this is a normal facet of your human analogy and what it means to be human. Okay, so this is not something you should get rid of or can get rid of 100%. But I did get rid of my terrible anxiety, where I would always feel the butterflies in my stomach. I don't get that anymore, and I'm going to share with you guys how I was able to do this. I left this part to the end because I wanted to share my story. So there was many different things. It was not a one-day solution. It was a long process of many different things that I applied to my life. First thing, changing my mindset on situations in life, okay? And this is in no particular order. You have to do pretty much all of these things at the same time. I started thinking, I have to enjoy life. I can't let these little problems and things get to me and make me worry all the time. You have to try and stop worrying. If you're constantly worrying, it's not going to help your anxiety at all. Worry a little bit is okay, certain situations you have to deal with or whatever, okay. But worrying about every little thing, you have to change that mindset. You have to sort of whatever happens in some cases. Try to live your life, enjoy your life, okay? Second thing, I changed drastically my diet, okay? I was eating the very typical North American diet of fast food. I wasn't cooking at home that often, not eating enough fruits and vegetables, nothing like that, okay? So I was just eating, I ate some healthy food, but not every single day, okay? I didn't even have some vegetables when I would have a specific dish or whatnot. It would just be a carbohydrate or something that's just very high in omega-3 fatty acids, which are good, but you have to go against the omega-6. Omega-6 is not the good ones that you have in your diet. So I meant to say omega-6 is the bad fatty acids, which a lot of people are having in their diets from cooked oils and things like that. So you have to try and rule out those things because it affects your gut, which is my next thing that I changed. I cut down drinking quite drastically. I would have every once in a while, but at the beginning I actually cut it out completely because I felt if I'm going to repair my gut with with probiotics and things like that, you can't be drinking alcohol. Okay, it's just you have to change your gut microbiome. And don't take this as advice as a doctor. If you have any questions about these, definitely go and see your doctor and whatnot. This is just a mini disclaimer. I'm just explaining how I was able to cure my overactive anxiety, which basically doesn't allow you to live your life. So I changed my microbiome, changed my diet, changed my mindset. Now the fourth thing that really, really was a game changer in my opinion was doing breathing techniques. Now I don't know if any of you guys have heard of Wim Hof. I heard of him many years before I started having the anxiety problems. And his breathing technique, man, I use it even until today. I mean, just before doing this video, I did the breathing technique and I was just it's a natural high. You feel so relaxed. I highly recommend starting that first. That would be my very first thing. If I had to say the easiest thing to change in your life to get rid of this overactive, insane feeling of anxiety that is not allowing you to live your life, breathing techniques, Wim Hof, you could find some other ones, whatever works for you. There's a lot of different techniques that helps you breathing and doing some meditation at the same time. And just, I cannot state it enough how it changed my life. I mean, I do it every day, and I'm going to probably do it for every day for the rest of my life, without question. The other thing that I wanted to mention that you could change, it also stems to your mentality and the way of thinking. You have to try and, how would I say this? Think about what's best in your life to try and enjoy life to the max. I did a video talking about finding meaning in life, and that it was an article I read or whatever that life doesn't have to have meaning or even happiness. I don't agree with that. You have to try and find something that makes you happy, where you can smile at least a few times a day and not worry about the problems of the world and things like that. Oh, and I almost forgot. I cut out a lot of social media intake. Okay, I wasn't consuming a lot of social media. I wasn't consuming the news anymore. I barely watch the news, to be honest. I mean, it's good to be informed and check in every once in a while, but every day where the news cycle, the last 2 years or in 2020, 2021 were the worst. It's constant fear-mongering and constant negativity. And I mean, the news, tell me when the last time you saw a positive news story or a few positive news stories on the news today. You won't find them. It just doesn't. And I think it's because the news cycle, sometimes they do have to share certain stories that are going on in the world. I get that. But constantly negativity, they don't try to have something that was uplifting. And I think a few years ago they used to do this. I remember the 90s, they would try and put something that's uplifting at the end of the news cycle, a news broadcast. I don't think that they do that anymore. That I might be wrong, but it's constant negativity. And if you're constantly consuming this without end, how is that going to make you feel? You're going to feel negative and like there's no hope in this world, and you got to cut that out. So consumption of news, especially negative news, which is pretty much 99% of what's out there, and social media, take it in stride. Social media, if you work for YouTube or you do videos and things like that, that's fine. Consumption at a slow pace is absolutely fine. But at the beginning, if your anxiety is so terrible, I say cut it out completely until you've got things under control. Because let's be honest, when you're suffering from terrible anxiety, that's just you're fearing doing things, going out. I mean, I was barely even able to go to work because I was constantly, shaking, and I would start, my nervous system just couldn't take it. It was terrible. I forgot to mention, so this is also another game changer. It's not the most important, but it kind of goes together with your diet. And that is, try to incorporate some minerals and some supplements into your life. And I don't vouch for any specific brand. Do your own research. But I was taking like vitamin C, vitamin D, and things like that would kind of boost my immune system, boost my mental health as well, which kind of goes together with anxiety. Because if you don't have your anxiety under control, that could really affect your mental health as well, right? You're not able to think clearly and just do day-to-day things in life. I mean, I am a proof here that it is possible to get over the anxiety, to get through it. The supplements also helped me in the fact that I was taking more like zinc and vitamin D. Really helped a lot. The other thing that really helped whilst taking these supplements and minerals and things like that was going outside, getting some sun, getting some exercise, doing physical activity. Don't maybe rush yourself as well when you're going through this. Don't push yourself too far as well, because you want to be patient with yourself. Do the things that I mentioned in this video. Do other research to find other solutions that possibly I didn't mention in this video. I know my all the solutions was kind of all over the place, but I had to get this out before I lose my train of thought and share this information, because it is possible. You can heal yourself. You can fix yourself when it comes to high anxiety that you just don't have control over. Just believe that. Don't give up. Don't ever think that it's never going to go away, because the mentality also has to be there. The positive reinforcement has to be there. So this would be my self-help video for you guys, because I just want people to get over. I know how it feels. It's one of those worst things that has ever happened to me in my life, next to losing loved ones in my life. But when you're unable to live your life, it's just because of anxiety, because of things that go on in the world. You just have to follow these things, follow the advice that I gave you, and you should get over the anxiety. Anything is possible. You can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Anybody can do it. You just have to have the determination that you're not going to allow this to run your life and ruin your life. So yeah, so I'm glad I got all of this out on my channel. For those of you who are watching, make notes of the things that I mentioned and just go and fight this anxiety. If you know somebody who's also going through terrible anxiety, pass the video on to them. It'll make a difference. I know there's like thousands of other videos out there that people have done about anxiety, but I just felt that I wanted to do this video based on my personal experience. There are days where, I'll feel a little, it might be coming on again, but for the most part, mine is totally under control, and I have started to live life and enjoy life and just smile more and not let the problems of the world get to you. So I'm really glad that you guys stayed till the end, if you did stay to the end, because this kind of video will really inspire people to get over the anxiety and just start living life instead of letting anxiety run you and live and not allow you to live your life, the best life that you want to live. That's what I would have to say. So until the next video, guys, I really appreciate that you watched, and we'll see you in the next one.